Hello and welcome to Don't Feed the Geeks, presented by the Long Island Comic Guys, the masters of the geeky-verse. Well, welcome back, Geek Freaks. We have an awesome episode for you today. Joining me today, as always, is JJ.
What's up, guys?
And Toy Story.
Hello, everyone.
All right. So, like I said, we have a great episode today. We are.
Everybody sounds so pumped today.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Let's get this done. Let's get people talking about geek culture, talking and listening. We are interviewing local artist Lula Lukas. We've known her for a while now. We've seen her at shows. Hopefully, we can see her at shows again someday soon. But before we get to that interview, we are going to jump into the Geek Beat. Toy Story, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, lots of good news in the last couple of weeks. So first of all, I don't know if this was just recently announced or it's been news for a while, but it's happening this week as this episode comes out. So obviously no San Diego Comic-Con this year because of COVID, but they're going to be doing something called San Diego Comic-Con at home. So what they're essentially doing is they're going to have over 350 virtual panels spread out over the 5-day period from Wednesday to Sunday. So they'll all be at different times and people will be able to watch them live on YouTube. I don't know if they're live or pre-recorded, but they each have like a time block.
It's probably a mix.
Yeah. But there's going to be a lot of stuff apparently.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's kind of jumping on that bandwagon now. Everyone's following at Elite.
Yeah.
Copying AtCon now.
Yeah.
DC's doing something similar on their own. I think Marvel's supposedly, like, it was like they were either going to do it, they weren't going to do it, now they are going to do a panel at San Diego. Is that the story?
That I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I thought I heard something like that.
Yeah. But
they're actually doing, and they're doing exclusives, too. Like, they're selling exclusives to
They're still doing those, right?
I guess everything that they were going to still,
They got to try to do what they can, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, it should be interesting. Great idea. I didn't look at the list yet of panels, but at 350, I mean, there's going to be a lot. I'm sure like Dark Horse and all the big companies are doing stuff.
I'm sure I'll see about it. I'll see it on social media.
Yeah, of course we will.
I'll just say now, I know that one of our local guys is on a panel. Billy Tucci, he's got a panel going on for that.
For that? Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Is it for she?
Yeah, for that whole thing. So it's very exciting.
Nice. We'll see how that goes. All right, next up, this is big news for a lot of Star Wars fans. So Disney announced that Star Wars Bad Batch is going to be coming to Disney+.
Careful with the pronunciation there.
Oh, I was very careful. I don't cuss. I'm a Catholic boy. But yeah, Star Wars Bad Batch is going to be a new animated series based on the Bad Batch clone trooper guys from season 7 of the Clone Wars.
So Bad Batch meaning good or bad?
Was it good?
No, Bad Batch meaning they're good clone troopers or bad clone troopers?
Oh, you didn't see it. Okay, so they're like Jim, how would you describe them?
They're like a ragtag misfits. So they're the misfits but they're misfits, but they're like experts in certain whatever field that they're an expert for.
So they were like
they're rejects clones.
Yeah.
That form of their own squad.
Exactly.
But are they loyal to the Empire or no?
No, they are. No, they're loyal to the Empire. Okay. They're still a squadron within, a detachment with the Empire.
Well, this takes place after like Order 66 and all that. So I don't know if they're going to be, if they were, brainwashed into staying with the Empire, or if they're going to be like, Rex.
Yeah. I'm curious, you'd be a fool when you saw this. You'd be a fool if you didn't realize that this was going to come out. Like, as soon as I saw these guys, I'm like, this is going to be. They're going to come out with their own standalone because it's a perfect opportunity to bring this out. And something I read today was this series is supposed to fix some of the holes or fix some of the storyline that's been going, that's already passed. So I'm curious to see how they're going to play that out.
Cool.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
anything,
those guys were great.
Anything Dave Filoni's in charge of, I'm okay with. He's amazing. And this is going to star. It's going to star D. Bradley Baker entirely because I think he plays every character, every clone. So
great.
It's just going to be him. He's going to have a lot of work.
Yeah, I think this is great. I think this is a perfect series that they're going to do, and I think they're going to just blow it away.
TC, you didn't watch season 7, right?
No.
Oh yeah, you should at least catch that up. I mean, if they if they keep it as the same art and everything, I'm hoping that it still stays in that same direction.
So those characters specifically came out of season 7.
Yeah,
so season 7 was orchestrated so they could do this show.
Well, season 7 had 3 arcs. The first arc was Bad Batch. The second one was the Sisters, which wasn't good, and then the third arc was the big, Order 66 thing that took place during episode 3 that everybody was freaking out about. You should at least watch those.
I'd like to know did they realize when this came out that they were going to put a series, or was this brought on by the fans?
Yeah.
No, not something that would be announced this quickly.
That's the thing. It's a little bit quick since it was announced. So
like if it was like a while from now and then it got announced, I could see that. But
yeah, or if the release date was in like 3 years, but it's next year. So
yeah.
Whatever.
I think it's great. I'm so excited for these guys.
Yeah, I'm excited. Jump into more Star Wars news or heavy rumor that sources confirmed to be true. We all know what that means. But again, I think this is for like the 4th time in the past year that Hayden Christensen is reportedly signed on to reprise his role of Anakin Skywalker in the upcoming Kenobi series, if that ever comes out. I know you're excited about this.
Yeah, was that...
All right, I'm just going to do something else. You guys can talk about that.
Yeah, Jim.
I know it's a rumor right now, and I know that there was a rumor like he was supposed to be in the last movie, and he never was. I know his voice was. I hope the rumor's true.
Yeah.
But you got to take that as a rumor.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that apparently the deal's signed, and that they were planning to announce it at Star Wars Celebration, which was obviously canceled. So that's where this leak is coming from.
I'm curious to see what direction they go with him on this.
Yeah, I feel like it would either be flashbacks or dreams or something, because they're big on the dreams in Star Wars and the visions.
Yeah.
So
let's hope something happens to that, because I'd like to see him back into this role.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually I liked him as, Anakin, evil Anakin.
Yeah, evil Anakin in 3.
Not sappy love story Anakin.
I killed them. All right, TC,
let me turn
you can
Tess
look
back on
again.
here.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Let's get Tess back in here.
All right, next up, Umbrella Academy Season 2. It's going to be premiering on Netflix on July 31st, just a few short weeks away.
Yeah, my wife just finished watching Season 1. I watched a little bit of it again with her. And,
did she like it?
It helped me refresh. I think so. We also recently watched the other thing on Netflix, The Order. That was pretty good. It was like I gave it like a 6.5 grade on our DFTG account. It was good. Like, it had good action. I mean, some of the story could have been developed a little bit more, but I mean, other than that, like it was entertaining. Charlize Theron is in it. They had everyone actually performed really well.
My favorite was I don't remember any of their names. The kid who went back in time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
jumped into the order.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. No. But yes. That kid was definitely my favorite too. Him and liked Diego number 2 a lot too.
Sorry.
I think
the order.
I like Diego.
Yeah, I think my wife was a big fan of Klaus. That was her favorite. She thought he was hilarious. But
yeah, I'm excited for the Umbrella Academy too. I thought, I knew nothing about it when I first saw it, finished Season 1. But
I can tell you,
it's pretty cool. Yeah. And The Order, I didn't see The Order yet. I just put that on my list this morning to watch.
Did that just come out?
So that should be pretty good.
Recently,
I think it just
it's like the number 1 thing on Netflix right now.
Okay, cool.
And it was a graphic novel, right?
The Order.
I think it was a graphic novel.
I don't
know nothing about it. Looks pretty good.
Do you mean Old Guard?
Sorry. Yes, I made a mistake. Yes.
I was like, wait, what is The Order?
Yeah, apologies.
Yeah, no, Old Guard. It's an Image series.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Greg Rucka. It's very good.
Cool.
So something else I wanted to bring up. I know it's in the news. I know we don't have it on here. JJ had mentioned it the other day, but they have a character named Atom Smasher, who I'm sure like people who've been into comic books know this for years. But he's going to be in the Black Adam movie. I don't know if he's good or bad, but the guy I see, Noah Centineo, who's playing him. When I clicked on that, I was like, why does that name sound familiar? He's also supposed to be in this like Master of the Universe movie whenever, if ever, that was supposed to happen, because he was supposed to be He-Man. But yeah. So
really?
Some guy I don't know named Adam Smasher is supposed to be in Black Adam.
Yeah.
We didn't do any research
I looked
on
him
that,
up.
so we still don't know who he is.
Yeah, I looked him up last night. I've never seen him in any movie.
No,
I've
think he's
never even heard of the Atom Smasher.
I think he's relatively new. Like, he's like an up and coming guy. I think after this Shazam or Black Adam thing.
And you're saying he's supposed to be He-Man?
He's supposed to be, but that movie's been in defunct for a while. What's that?
Developmental hell.
Yeah. He looks like a little guy.
I think he's probably
He-Man.
bulking up.
Well, I hope
he's the only person that was cast for that.
Nice.
Cool.
All right, next.
All right, so more Netflix stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Usagi Yojimbo. Yeah. You added this, right? So there's gonna be a new CGI animated series set in that world called Samurai Rabbit: The Usagi Chronicles. Currently in development.
Looks cool. Sounds cool.
I know nothing about Usagi Yojimbo. Full disclosure.
Yeah, I don't know much about it either. I know it's a rabbit with a samurai sword. What more do you need?
My first thing that I had with him was he was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the cartoon back in the 80s. So I think they crossed over earlier on.
Oh, the character was?
Yeah, because I think he was originally part of Mirage as well. Like when the comic books were at Mirage, I think Usagi started there for a little while.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was he was in the animated series, like in it for a couple episodes, and I thought it was really cool. I had the toy, but I never read the comic books. I think I do want to go back and read them because I know Bojo says great things about them.
Have you guys ever read the original the TMNT Mirage stuff?
No, I heard that's fantastic too.
It's really good. It's super dark. Like the first couple issues, it's crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, so let's talk about some. We have some comic book news here, right? For once.
Yeah. So Boom Studios
news on comic book podcast.
Yeah, who would have thought? All right, so Boom Studios, one of my favorite independent studios right now. They're going to be releasing a prequel to Dune, which is a book. It's a sci-fi book from the 70s. Obviously, movie's coming out. It's supposed to be coming out this year. I don't know if that's happening, but it's going to be a prequel called Dune: House Atreides. And it's going to be set as a lead up to the book and the movie. What are you doing?
I'm just advertising.
Advertising while I'm talking.
So they're coming out with. You said it was a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel to the book.
That's cool. I'm actually excited about that because I never.
I'll repeat. You cut off a little.
Yeah.
No, we didn't hear you.
All right. I just tried watching the movie again, the one with Sting in it, and I think I got like a half hour into it. And I was like, I can't watch this right now. I got to move on to something different.
I read
such a tough movie to watch.
I read the book earlier this year, and I liked it, but it was really tough to get through. I found it. It was like
I haven't read I would imagine the movie. The movie is probably just as same as the book.
I'm still in the middle of Lord of the Rings, and it's more dense than that. I felt.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings gets pretty dense.
Yeah.
So a friend that I worked with, he was telling me that the Dune series gets like really like political, and it goes into like a lot of political warfare and speak and stuff like that.
It does.
Yeah.
He's like, it's tough. He's like, I find that interesting. He's like, but I don't think everyone does.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of sequels
cool.
too.
Maybe
I didn't
I'll
realize.
check that out. Yeah, I did hear that as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And you said that's coming out. Boom is doing that.
Boom, yeah. Boom does some awesome stuff. They're the ones who do Something Is Killing You Children and Once in Future.
Yeah, I don't read a lot of Boom books.
They're really good.
I think they did the Big Trouble in Little China series too.
They did.
That was good.
Yep.
It was good for a while. I read it and then it kind of got a little too ridiculous, so I stopped.
Yeah.
So also, I think I just heard this today. So this would have been when we're recording about 3 days from when you're listening to this. But at least I saw that Sean Gordon Murphy, Matteo Scalera on the White Knight series, they announced that they're doing a spin-off of the White Knight storyline with Harley Quinn, which it's funny. I actually really liked Harley's character in those. I don't know if you guys have read the White Knight stuff.
You recommend them?
I mean, it's very close to the Long Halloween. Like, I like probably as much as I enjoy the Long Halloween, those series. So far they did White Knight and then the Curse of the White Knight. Both I thought were really good. I'd have to read both of them like back to back to really tell you if one was better than the other, but I really enjoyed them a lot.
I might have to check them out.
So
I never picked up any of them.
More of this version, like they're really good. Like those are like books, like I've been going through stuff to sell. Like I'm not selling any of my White Knight stuff.
Nice. I might have to read some of those before it comes out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was awesome.
We flew through that.
We're gonna. Yeah. Well, we felt like we had to. I feel like we're juiced up tonight. We're revved up, ready to go.
Let's hope it stays.
Yeah. We're gonna bring that energy to our interview with Lula Lukas. So you'll be hearing that next.
All right, Geek Freaks. Today we'd like to welcome to the show our friend and local upcoming artist, Lula Lukas. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
How's everything going by you?
Good. Really had a lot of time to draw for the last couple of months. A lot of projects going on, secret projects. So doing good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. We're very excited to talk to you. So we like to start off all our interviews by getting our guest's origin story. So kind of how you got into, whether it be comics or like whatever geek culture you're into, what was it growing up that attracted you to all of this? How'd you start becoming an artist? That kind of stuff.
I guess I started drawing when I was about 5 years old, just doodling, and my mom would buy me all those Disney movies with the real cool covers, and I would just kind of like play around and draw them, and I continued drawing here and there, and I was always the kid that was pretty good in class. So I had a lot of friends that loved my art. Growing up in Brooklyn, it was very helpful to survive in Brooklyn, during those times, being the kid that could draw, because I wasn't really like everyone else. I wasn't really good at sports, so it was very hard to fit in. But yeah, growing up, it was always something that I wanted to do, and then life gets in the way. And just, I kind of just drew here and there, but I really got into comic books because my brother, he introduced it to me for the first time by buying a copy of The Death of Superman. So I was hooked, and then I started to buy comics like, for example, Todd McFarlane's Venom. That was what I remember purchasing. That that was a big deal to me. So I got in a little here and there, and then Michael Turner is when he started to come out, and all those splash pages, and I don't know, it was just a game changer for me. So I'd always buy his comics, and then I kind of like drifted off for a while, for a good 10 years. And then I started to come back into this recently, about, I guess it was 2018. I met you, TC. I met you there at Con. That was the first convention I was ever at. And
oh wow, I didn't know that.
That was the first any convention, like even just as like a fan, that was the first time, because I always had fear of being around crowds, and just had a little bit of trouble speaking to people. And even though I'm in marketing full time, it was always a fear of mine to be able to speak and talk to people. It's part of the artist brain, you're always a little afraid, you're a little vulnerable. So
when it's your own stuff.
yeah. So I got over it quick, After Con, I started to get really out of my shell. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, my artwork also progressed rapidly, because I started to feel comfortable and confident, and I started to improve my skills by digging deeper and going into my digital art, improving that way as much as possible. So.
Wow, nice. So do you do mostly?
It's actually a good community. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really
I was gonna say for especially when you have like those sort of feelings, there's a lot of support out there usually for like people who are,
And Con was exactly the perfect element for me, because it was just independent artists. There was no one like a Rags Morales next to me, you know. There was no one very powerful and seasoned. So it was great to start off that way. And I met a lot of great people at that event, and I still speak to them. I'm still friends with them. So it was remarkable to just start there, and then now look where I am in such a short period, and I'm so grateful for it. And it has a lot to do with just not giving up, you know.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had started in 2018. That's incredible.
August of 2018 is when I went into my my friend's comic book shop. His name is Bill. You know him. He's from Genesis Comic and Gaming.
Yep.
So his shop was new, and I went in there and I started to. The reason why I went in there, first of all, because it's been a while for me to even walk into a comic book shop, was because I saw Adelso Corona, his art. He draws live a lot, so I saw him drawing the Batman Who Laughs, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. This is so interesting, you know. And I walked into the comic book shop and I asked Bill, I was like, do you have anything on him? You know, I see this new character, and he gave me one of the books that the Debt Metal. Sorry, I forgot which one it was, but so he was hot back then. And then I saw artwork on his, you know, shelf, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. He's like, yeah, it's a local artist, and it was a Joker, a Heath Ledger Joker, and I bought it. And he said, and I started to explain to him that, you know, I always wanted to draw and get into this. And he's like, well, Inbion Con is happening in 2 weeks. You should definitely do it. And I, you know, just get your stuff ready. And I contacted the person, the promoter that made that event. And he said, yeah, just give me all your stuff and I'll print it out for you. So in 2 weeks, I was able to kind of just get some things together and get some of my old artwork together too, and have something to display in a short period of time. So
that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, wow. It was intense. And so after that, I met so many people from there. I met UTC, I met Jimbo Slice, and then I just started to continue to rapidly grow after that. And you know, I don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Full steam ahead.
That's great. Yeah.
And it's ironic. And it's ironic. You're from Brooklyn, so I mean, all great things come from Brooklyn, right? I mean, we had Captain America's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's true.
So
yes,
it fits into the whole story and origin story.
Yeah, we're tough cookies, you know. So, well, that's basically it.
So you're mostly.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say. So you're mostly self-taught, right?
Yeah, and I'm very aware of that. Like, I always tell people that I'm self-taught, so I see a lot of the raw emotion in my art, you know, and I know I could be better. So that's what I'm trying to say, is that I definitely have a lot of room for improvement. I'm no way trying to say I'm anywhere close to some of these amazing artists that I have the fortune to sit next to. Like when I was at Suffolk Comic Art Expo, the first one, I was sitting next to Rags Morales, and I was so lucky to be able to sit next to him. And how about the fact that I had an identity crisis and I brought it with me in hopes that I might be able to go and see him at some point, and I wound up sitting next to him for him.
I remember that, because that's the first time I saw you.
Oh my God, I was so, and he gave me so many pointers, and he's a good guy to talk to. Being there all day behind the table, you get to talk to them, and they want to help you. So supportive. I met Kreese for the first time. Kreese gave me his marker. Kreese is so funny. I couldn't believe that he's so young, and he drew a cover for the Max and the Batman when that came out. I was like, oh my God, you're such a baby. You weren't even born when the Max came out. You know, and he's great. I still talk to him. You know, I reach out to him whenever I have a question about stuff, and he helps me out in 1 second. He's so amazing.
Yeah, that's what's amazing about this community, the comic book artists. Yeah,
they're extremely helpful. And of course, there's going to be some that are kind of like, oh, they'll come look at your stuff when you're not at your table kind of people. And that's okay, you know? hey, it's part of it. But most of them really are supportive, extremely supportive.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
So even though you were self-taught, did you have any like mentors as you were, practicing your art over the years, whether it was in the beginning or just even over the last 2 years?
I did, and a very famous one. I was very fortunate when I was younger to have known Drew, another person, Joe Quesada. So he, when I was super young, Drew, a mutual friend, he actually had lunch with me to go over my portfolio, and it was really scary to show him my stuff. And I showed him my snake eyes, which you guys have, I'm sure you've seen before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I showed him that, the actual pencils of it, and it was a study. I don't remember what the actual art, because this was like 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember who it was, but it was a study, and it was all graphite pencil with very little amount of ink on it. And when he was opening up my portfolio and he was looking through it, he actually stopped at that page, and that was frightening to me. Like, oh my God. And he said, I do have talent, he said, you really do have talent, but you need the discipline. You need to go to, I believe, the Kubert comic book school. So that was a long time ago. And at the time I was very young, and I was already living on Long Island. For me to go all the way to Jersey, it's just impossible.
Yeah.
So I got my life started here on Long Island because I'm originally from Brooklyn, and I just moved from there to, start my career, and life happens, it's part of it. But now I'm at a point where I can kind of like come back and return to that and pursue my passion, what really lights my fire. So it's more than a hobby. I hope you understand the difference of
we do.
An artist and a hobby. And now it's starting to move in towards a little bit more professional, and I think I'm ready for it at this point. I wouldn't be ready at 24, no way. I was so timid and shy, and you wouldn't be able to get me on camera right now, so it'd be worthless. Waste of everyone's time.
Yeah. Listen, even if it took a long time, if it helped you, that time helped you grow into a person that you feel like you could do this stuff, it's worth it. Exactly. So
cool.
Yeah. And then last year I reached out to him again, and I said, I'm going to be in the city. Would you consider having lunch with me again? And this was right before Phil's Suffolk Comic Art Expo, the first one. And he gave me some pointers, because now I'm getting into the digital world. So he's seen my artwork, traditional, and then I started to show him my digital stuff. I showed him my Batman and the Catwoman, the one that says Hell Here, right? Or with the light, that throwback. So I showed him that, and it's like, oh my God, I'm showing him DC stuff right now. It's terrible. I should be showing him.
He works for them too, don't worry.
Yes.
And it was right after Venom, and I was so excited to see Venom because I'm getting back into this world. And he's like, how was it? I was like, it's really good. I actually enjoyed it. But and he gave me some pointers. And I wound up, after meeting with him, I felt really inspired. So I drew the Heath Ledger that I blended into The Killing Joke. So that awesome. One really was a big hit at Phil's show, because it was like everyone was buying it, kids, older people, because a lot of the kids know it from the animated version.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's awesome.
So it's fan art, and people like that stuff. So
So at the conventions, were you just selling like the prints and stuff you did, or were you doing art at like commissions at the shows?
The first few that I did, no, I couldn't draw in person. It was very scary, and grasshoppers actually broke me out of that fear of drawing in front of people. Mm-hmm. Because when you're drawing for a charity and for the chance of people coming in and buying more raffles, it changes everything. You don't care. You want to just make them, not entertain them, but just give them something that will hopefully make them want to buy more raffles and support, So it's more meaningful.
Inspire them.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love doing that. I hope they ask me to do it every year. Really love doing it. And
I didn't realize that was the first time you did in-person commissions.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
How
new,
did
guys.
it feel to do that?
I'm a baby in this. Really. This is so weird. This is so weird for me. And that's why I really am trying my best to improve and get as far as I can,
Yeah, I think it's really important to always want to learn more,
Yeah. I want to master.
Yeah, like even I'm sure like you get to the level of like Jim Lee or some of these people, you still always want to, better yourself, even if you're at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, think about how Jim Lee had to learn, Procreate. Procreate is the program that I use on my iPad. It wasn't around all the time. I'm sure I've seen him draw on it, and it's fun.
He's been drawing since the 90s. There's no way you had that back then.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's great at it. It's just natural,
So now that you do a lot of digital work, do you prefer that over traditional, or are they just too different to even compare?
It's funny. Sometimes I catch myself because when I'm so into the digital part of it, there's a 2-finger tap that you could do on the iPad that undo that's like your undo. And I do that sometimes on my paper when I'm drawing, and I'm like, oh my God. If somebody saw that, they'd be like, what are you doing? So
just thinking.
Yeah. So I don't know what I prefer better. It really depends on what I'm drawing, if that makes any sense.
No,
if I'm doing something super detailed, like right now I'm doing a commission, which is really cool. Voodoo I'm doing. Remember her from Wildcats with the big furry boots?
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing one of her. And like, I love the shading that I have to do to make her really pop, and her hair. And, but yeah, like stuff like that. I really get into drawing traditionally. But yeah, the digital part it's a whole different world. You could do anything with it, and you could really get lost in it too. So if I get a commission that, I know it's going to take me about 4 hours to do drawing traditionally, I try to stick to that, because digitally I may go overboard, and I'm like, oh, I want to do this, that.
Just because you could do more, right?
Yeah, and you get lost, and you end up making $5 an hour, So you have to really be disciplined, But I always go above and beyond. Yeah. When anything I do, I have to.
So what do you like to use? So what do you like to use when you're doing just normal drawing? Do you use markers? Do you use, what are they called? The
Copic pencils,
watercolors, or?
Well, I have a bunch of Copics. I have a lot of those. These are very expensive, and little by little, I add to my collection. Like for sketch covers, I'll use that. It depends on what the commission. Some people, especially these collectors, they'll explain to you in detail what they want. They want a 3/4
like what they
bust.
Want you to even use, right?
Yeah, 3/4 bust, pencil only. I'm a pencil guy, so and I get it.
Yeah.
They have their thing. But
it's funny because some things look really cool with just pencils, some things really cool with just inks, and then you just want some things colored. It's just the picture you have in your mind.
Yeah, I love that. That makes my job easier.
Yeah.
If you're gonna cut it in the thinking part, you're gonna cut that down.
Yeah, because I'm sure if like you're just given a vague, I want a Spider-Man or something, you have to decide how you think is the best way to draw that, right?
Yeah.
And you might not know yet until you start.
Anyone that asks me Spider-Man, I say no, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not a Spider-Man person.
That's fun. I'm one of those guys where I say, surprise me. Just do it.
Wow.
Draw me an Aquaman and surprise me. And I've gotten some pretty good ones out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool. I like those too, because then it's like, oh, you can do whatever you want and have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite type of character to do?
I love drawing the Joker. He's my favorite. Anyone that asks me to draw a Joker, I'm like, yes, I'm all over that. Yeah, he's my favorite.
Which
I love
Joker?
Heath Ledger.
Which
I do love. Yeah, Heath Ledger. I do, but I can do the other ones. I'll show you something that I was playing around with. Sometimes I think about what would be really cool if someone asked me to do something with the Joker, and I'll show you something really quick, just like the concepts that I was playing around with. And concept art is really, not concept, but like drafting art is like sometimes really, mine is terrible, but I kind of just put together like the Joker's head of Catwoman.
That's cool.
Was holding
That's
it.
cool.
Oh, that's dark. I like that.
It's really dark. Joker is all from my brain, and
oh, that's cool.
So, and that's not.
Great.
It looks like a mix of like the old style from like the 80s, but
Yes.
it's more like devious. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's something, 5 minutes that I could do. And then I'll take a photo of that with my iPad, bring it in and color it and
okay. So you take a picture of like the pencils and then you could color it on the Nice.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw that snake eyes behind you. That
See
looks
him?
really nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
So
You're a fan?
when we're at Indian Con,
That's what I had up on my table. Not that exact one, and that one was given away already. So, but
but that's what caught my attention from your work. Was that I was like, oh, whoa! I was like, this is really nice. And then that's when me and Jimbo came over and started talking to you. But I love that piece. That's one of my favorite that you've done.
You got a copy of it, right? I give it away a lot.
I do.
Whatever you got.
I have one of those. I have the sorceress eyes that you did too. I have those.
Right.
I love that piece. I think I got I have an Ariel and a Moana that you did for my daughter. She liked those. Yeah.
Oh, I remember when you got that. That was awesome.
Cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that was at the Suffolk show.
Yeah.
Those are my first drawings. I was really working hard, and they probably took about 10 or 15 hours each, and now I can probably do that in an hour.
That's amazing, right? How much you can progress.
Yeah, you learn the tricks, So.
That's cool.
Yeah, getting there.
That's amazing. So are there any series that you're into right now that have kind of inspired you? Do you still read?
The only thing that I finished recently was The Witches. Did you ever read that by Scott?
Yeah, I was getting that.
I did. It was weird.
Weird, right? I just finished that, and I was like, wow. I would have loved to have known him, then, when it was hot. I would love to have been in that convention scene then, because that was really, really.
They keep speculating that they're gonna do something with that property.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that. Did you know all of that was watercolor and stuff? Did you?
Was that
was that Jock?
I think so.
Did Jock do that? Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. I did not know it was all watercolor.
Yeah, it was a lot of real traditional art. So
that's so cool. You don't see that enough in comics anymore.
And I was like, wow, I love these. I mean, it was a mixed medium for sure.
Yeah.
There was digital in it, but a lot of it was mixed.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Other than that, I have not been really. What about you guys? Are you guys excited about anything right now?
I read more older stuff.
Yeah.
So I got my Marvel Unlimited subscription, so I'll go back and read stuff from the 70s and 80s, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it's mostly.
I'm excited for the new. Yeah, the 3 Jokers is coming out. I'm excited about that.
Saw that.
And then they just announced. I don't know if you read any of the. We were talking about it earlier, but the White Knight stuff by Sean Gordon and Murphy. That was fantastic. They're doing a Harley Quinn spinoff of that. So I'm excited for that. But I've been catching up on X-Men from the 90s as well. So I think I'm almost into 1996 of all X-Men titles. I'm a psychopath. So I'm reading on Marvel Unlimited all the X-Men titles. And
what are there 9 X-Men titles going on at a time?
Really good. It depends. Sometimes some months there's 12 X-Men books.
That's insane.
Wow. Pumping it out.
Yeah, he's hardcore.
Trying to stay busy. I have OCD about being completist and stuff. Like I read all of Amazing Spider-Man till like I think like maybe like up until 836. So like if I don't like read everything and know everything that's going on, I get like I don't know, like anxious. I don't know what happened in this storyline.
Yeah, that's intense.
So you have a pretty cool piece of artwork coming out soon, right?
Yes, I'm very nervous about it. So
let's hear about it. Come on.
Here, you know, if
So
you're
let's
not
do it. Let's make the official announcement.
Yes, I've been asked to for the first time ever to do an exclusive variant cover, and I'm just so nervous because in the next 2 weeks, you know, I already have some concepts for it, but it's pretty hard to do a cover. There's so much involved, you know, the composition of it. And
is that your time frame? 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I work really good under pressure because that's how I painted the Joker.
Yeah, you gotta sometimes do it under pressure.
In 2 weeks, yeah, you have to. I mean, that's how I'm like a race car driver. I have to have that pressure to make that precise move, you know, or else I mess up. But yeah, I was asked to do an exclusive variant cover for Vampirella. I'm very excited.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
So everybody's
Do you
excited.
know what issue?
It's actually going to be a one shot. And
okay, cool.
I mean, The Killing Joke was a one shot. So
yeah.
Hey, you never know, and I think she needs some love, and you know, I'm prepared to give my take on her, and there's so many versions, so many artists that have done amazing work. I've been really like doing a lot of research. I respect that, and I wanna study who did, you know, what, and obviously Frazetta and Perillo, they are the greatest in my opinion.
Yeah.
Her adaptation, and I totally love that realistic but also fantasy type style, and who knows, I don't know what type of version. I'm even considering possibly painting the cover and doing that. It depends. It depends on what I can do in the next, you know, couple of days, but
so when they ask you to do this, do they give you any like what they want, or do they just say make a variant cover?
I have total freedom as long as I keep the essence of her.
Wow,
that's great. Wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool because I don't like to someone telling me, okay, it has to be her and this other person, or you know, because then it's like, oh my god, that's two people now. It's too hard, you know. And I'll just so having freedom.
I'm excited for you. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
That's very exciting.
It is, and I'm really, I can't explain it. Everyone that I tell, it's like, I can't believe this is happening. I started in Indian Con, you know, and
that's no small title either, Vampirella.
Yeah,
it's not right.
That's a big.
That's
title.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's not, and she's been around 50 years, maybe more.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
I know
a lot of great artists have done her. So I mean, this puts you up there.
A lot. Campbell, what's his name? J. Scott Campbell. He did he did one. So many artists, so many of the big time. Archer.
I think Billy Tucci did one not too long ago, right?
He did. In fact, I've got a page from one of his books with her on it.
Of course.
Oh, nice, nice. So it's my way of stepping into this world, you know, the next step, and we'll see what happens. I do need to be published, so
that's the huge step, is getting published for the first time, right?
For the first time, right? Somebody believing in you and supporting you in that way.
And the cover.
I already people, a lot of the shops are already excited about it. Like Royal, they want to have a virtual signing for me.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
so excited about that. Like,
that's awesome.
No. Genesis, they're gonna definitely pre-order. My husband is definitely gonna pre-order. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We're gonna get them too.
Absolutely.
Oh, you're very
absolutely.
Sweet. You're very sweet. Actually, you mentioned Billy Tucci. I was going through my stuff. I have to show you something.
Oh God, jeez.
I actually saw a poster that I had on my wall when I was younger, and I couldn't believe, and it's ripped, it's terrible, but I found this, and it was
nice. Yep.
The Wizard.
Oh, that's awesome.
You see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yep.
I wish I had this when I was at, Suffolk Summer Expo. And I had to sign it. It's so funny. You meet them later on in life, and the stuff that you had on your wall.
I'm actually pretty close friends with him. He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I've only seen him at tables, and I've never really gotten a chance to speak to him. Unfortunately,
I love him.
I love him
to
crowd. He always has a crowd around him, so I can't bother him.
I know how he draws with all the people he talks to all day. My God.
Yeah.
He does.
He does.
I gotta say, did I see a stuffed Darkwing Duck back there on the shelf?
Wow, that's a good eye.
That's awesome.
I
saw a purple suit and a duck.
How did you even see that?
I saw a purple suit and a duck.
Oh my!
I love
God.
Darkwing Duck.
It's so fun.
Remember this guy? I have a lot of stupid things like that.
Oh, Wily Cat.
That's
Wily Cat from
dog from.
That's a dog.
Oh,
that's a dog.
All dogs go to heaven. Yeah.
Yes, all dogs go to heaven. Yeah, nice. I have a little shelf with all my stuff and my artwork.
Hey, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I have my signed Todd McFarlane artwork that he was so nice to speak to me for a few minutes. It was probably the best moment.
I think I saw at New York Comic Con, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right next to us, right?
Oh my God. I wasn't even going to go that day. And could you imagine that would have been, because obviously there's not going to be one this year. But I almost didn't go, and I wound up meeting Archer, him.
So did you show him your art, or did you just ask it, talk to him?
Yeah, I showed him my art. I was I was prepared. I gave him my card. And I showed him my this is a terrible one, but I showed him the Joker, and he's like, oh, this is really cool. And then he looked at my name, and he's like, Lula Lukas, your name's even cool. I was like, here's my business card. Take my. Let me know if you need anything. I was so courageous at that moment.
Were you online with us when we were online with him?
Yeah, she was. When you did the poster, she was right next to us.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I remember you're talking to him for a little bit.
Oh my God!
She was right
out of
before
it.
we did.
I was in a daze trying to get this poster signed. So I didn't know anybody around me because I was in such a daze to get this. Oh, jeez.
That must have been incredible.
I felt the same way. I felt the same way you did. I was so excited and so in awe that I was actually going to meet him and have him sign this very special poster for me.
Yeah, wasn't he nice?
He's so nice. Oh my God.
Yeah, really nice.
He I don't know if you've seen that Batman cover he did back in the day with the crazy looking cape. I don't know if you're familiar, but for some reason
the moon
colors,
is not drawn.
He colored in. He colored in Matt's. He's like, I'm gonna fix this now, and he colored it in.
He grabbed the yellow marker and was coloring it.
Oh wow! You gotta share a picture
awesome.
of that.
I was like, you can never sell that.
I want to get CGC over and be restored by Todd McFarlane on it.
Yeah, I got the 300 signed by him, Capullo, and Snyder.
Nice.
So they all signed it. I didn't grade it though. I'm so stupid, but
I didn't grade mine either.
You're not selling it, right?
Mine. I'm not doing anything with it.
Exactly.
I'm a big Pearl Jam fan, and he did a Pearl Jam concert. He did a Pearl Jam concert poster for Copenhagen back in 2012, and it's a Spawn. It's beautiful. It's on our Instagram.
I'm gonna look at that. I'm writing it down.
And if you hit it with you can hit it with the black light, and it glows. And I got him to sign it. And his wife was in awe of it. She's like, "Oh my God!"
Because they probably don't see that too often, stuff like that.
No, there aren't too many of these posters out there. Because it took me a while to find it. And it's the only Pearl Jam I've been to almost 100 Pearl Jam concerts, and it's the only poster I own.
Yeah, you weren't even at that show.
It made Todd's Instagram.
It did, yeah.
It did.
Wow. I got to look at that.
Yeah.
I love Pearl Jam, so having that
Huge fan.
Yeah, no, it's amazing you got to talk to him though. Someone you've
That's
idolized
cool.
forever.
And he's writing, on my Macs. I don't know why I brought that, but I thought it was, because I drew the Max and the Redeemer, with the wings. So I brought that, and I was like, oh, maybe he'll sign it. And he wrote, keep up the wonderful artwork on there, and
That's nice.
great.
Wow.
Really nice, And when I saw him writing that, I started crying. I was just like, oh my god, I'm such a punk right now.
Listen, I'm sure any of us would be the same if we were in your place with our heroes,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I couldn't believe that happening. I was very lucky. So that's on my website. Those photos from that day, and I'm starting to add, all the great moments on my journey, with everything, and that part of my website, it's called Lucky Girl. So,
nice.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's great.
Awesome.
So now that you're going to be a published artist, what's going to be next?
Well, I am working with a few other people on our own independently owned comic book. So that we have to push back, obviously, because of COVID. We were really planning to push this out hardcore this year, but obviously it's going to have to wait.
Yeah.
So the convention scene is back up and running. So that would be definitely on the table. And plus, getting through a lot of these commissions, it's hard. I had to close my list for the first time. I'm not even trying to brag, but it's a lot of, I have to tell people no. That sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks, because I don't want to disappoint them either. You have to be responsible and time. Yeah. Some people really don't care. They'll wait.
Yeah.
You have to be as an artist, especially because of social media, obviously. You have to be very respectful of people and their expectations. So
yeah,
yep,
yeah, 100%. And that's the right thing to do. Is just telling people, honestly, listen, when it opens up again, I'll let you know. But right now, you just don't have the bandwidth to take any more. And I think most people understand. I mean, the people who aren't are just gonna complain no matter what anyway. So
yeah,
you can't worry too much about them.
Exactly, and I'm very clear about that.
Yeah. What's the name of the self-publication you're working on?
Criminal Tendency.
Do you have a name for it yet?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I will be following it, yeah.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, his name is Ray Schwetz. He is a writer, an amazing writer. He wrote this 20 years ago, and I told him, Ray, everyone's telling me I need to get better at sequential art, I know you're a writer. Why don't you give me your script and maybe I could turn it into something, So he said, no problem. And, he wrote more for film. So that's a little bit different compared to comic books. You have to definitely downplay it a lot. There's too much detail in the film script. So, he asked me to take a look at it. I thought it was great. It's a detective story, and it has a lot of that 90s feel to it. And I thought it was an amazing story. It's one of those stories where you can really get hooked into it. It's one of those detective stories where he has something haunting him in his past without giving out too much. And he's trying to protect a female that is being hunted down by some very bad people, and where he's now writing. My friend Ray, he's now writing every day now. He went from not writing at all to getting up 4:30 in the morning and writing these issues. And
wow,
he's doing great, and he's up to the 6th issue already. It's not easy to create one issue. And he's up to that point. So do any of you write or anything like that?
TC's now dabbled in drawing a little bit, I think, right?
Yeah, a little bit here and there, but I do it for a while, and then I love art. I've loved art since I was little. I did draw a little bit when I was younger. I was okay. I was never the greatest in the class, but I've always loved it. And I tried to get into it for a little bit, but then there's too much other stuff going on at the same time that I want to do. So I might get. I don't think I'd ever want to do it for be published, just kind of do it for myself.
Yeah.
Like just it's like therapeutic. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm not great.
Or even taking some classes and maybe exploring painting. Maybe it'll open up different. You never know if you enjoy it and you find there some therapeutic value in it.
One of our buddies is an art teacher at St. Anthony's. I was like, why don't you just let me come in and take the class? He goes, you don't go to high school. I was like, it's fine. So, just let me come in.
You should.
He goes, they would never let you in the building.
Oh my God.
That's great. So do you have a date on when the book's going to come out? When Vampirella?
So that is supposedly in September. It'll come out. My deadline is August 7th. So cross your fingers. And the name of the book is sorry. It's the trial of her soul, I believe. Sorry, I'm terrible. But
it's okay, close enough. We'll figure out the exact title soon.
Trial of the Soul.
It's Trial of the Soul. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
got it.
Sorry, I get nervous with these things. So,
no, please.
It is definitely a test whether or not she's going to heaven or hell, or if she has a soul. So, it's a one-shot story on that. And if you have any suggestions, I am open to hearing that. Because I love that's the best part about a variant cover, by the way, is the fact that a local artist or someone that may not be so high level and out of reach does, a local artist does have their finger on the pulse of what the fans want. So if you have something, or if you want to reach out to your fans, I am open to suggestions.
All right.
I like that.
That's cool.
If anyone's listening and they have some suggestions, let us know. It's too much pressure for me. I can't. I'm sweating already just thinking about it.
Tell me about it.
I can't imagine how you must feel. You have to draw the thing.
So
I got so much going on in my head right now.
That's nice. We'll talk.
That's good. I love that. I talked to a few of the comic book store owners that I know, and they already kind of giving me some hints and tips, and I enjoy that, whether it's a tattoo somewhere or something like that, or some saying in the background.
That's cool.
I could play around with it, especially with my digital skills now. I'm so much better that I think I'm ready for this, but I'm also really scared.
Usually, when you're scared, that means it's a good thing. So.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably when you're going to be able to do your best work.
Exactly. Under pressure and when you're terrified.
I hope I don't let you guys down, for sure.
No, definitely. No,
we don't think so.
No. Yeah. It's incredible to see you on this journey, though, to be here now.
Yeah. So it's crazy. It's crazy. And I really reached out to you, TC, because I really wanted to share some good news. I think we all need some of that a little bit more now than ever, and especially in this community now. Anything that's positive, I go crazy. Like the other day, I was drawing just for fun. I was drawing the new girl punchline, and I couldn't believe it. The guy, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. Campbell liked it on my Instagram.
Oh, wow.
My husband sees me jumping up and down. And I'm like, you don't understand. He's like, what's wrong with you? And so, of course, I'm screenshotting it and sending it to all my fans.
That's funny.
I have fans that are really close with me on Instagram, and I'll share with them. Like, did you see this? They're like, oh my God, I'm so
that's
jealous.
Incredible.
It's a big deal,
Yeah, it's a huge step, and congratulations again.
Just for fun.
100% congrats.
I'm excited to get my signed. I'm excited to get my signed copy of Vampirella that will be, CGC 9/8 that I promise I won't sell. Wink, wink.
We have to get our
$500.
We have to get our witness signatures.
Yes, we do.
9/8. Well, the company that is actually doing this, they're called Get Slabbed, and they do all of that. They do handle the slabbing, obviously, and all of that stuff. And anyone can reach out to them to pre-order or more information on it by just via email, getslabbedup gmail.com.
Nice.
Perfect.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So what's the best way for people to reach out to you and connect with you?
Right now, I have a website that is up that is super new and terrible, but it's part of, being an artist, that handles their own website. But it has like contact information. It does have some commissions that I did do in the past, so people can get an idea of how much I charge. And those aren't the real exact prices because I'm not dumb. I'm not going to put the real price on there. I just want to give people an example of why something would cost $150 compared to something that would be $75. You can see how much work is in one, and everything is different. So if you ask me to draw Spider-Man, obviously I'm going to charge more because I hate drawing him. So I will,
What is that? What is that website?
It's called LulaLukas.com. So LulaLukas, like Sam.com.
Well,
okay. We'll make sure to put that in the notes too.
Yeah. You could also reach out to me direct message via Instagram at lovebylula.com.
Ooh, Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Nice.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was a big fan of the movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh, here's a picture of you and Todd. That's so cool.
Oh, my God. You got to watch the video. It's so funny. You got to watch the video of what he said to me and stuff. It was a great experience. I'm so really lucky and fortunate. And I really can't wait to get back into that world again.
Yeah, I think all of us feel the same way.
We're all dying, right, to get back. So
kind of like, yeah.
Gotta take care
of
our.
Well, this was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah,
if you need anything, we'll have to do this again.
Yeah, and definitely, I want to hear from you guys with your suggestions. So.
Oh, we'll think about it. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me know.
I have something bubbling. I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Send me some pictures, whatever you want. Thank you for having me, guys. I really
Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited.
Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with everything.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Lula, for that awesome interview. That was a really good time.
Great. I love talking to her. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to check out that cover.
Oh my God, yeah! I didn't realize we had Perella. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Great story.
Okay, shall we move on to our closing out segment?
Sure.
Yes, this is a new segment, another new segment.
Yeah, kind of new. It's in line with our top 5 that we're doing, but we're trying to go a little more specific, rather than just do top 5 movies or something like that. So
yeah, this is making me read more and think about books that I've read in the past, which is really tough because I forget a lot of them.
Yeah. So today's topic is going to be the top 5 most disappointing story arc endings. If you
okay.
Yeah. So I think
I hope I get this right. I'm not going to start it first though.
All right. You want to go first, TC, or me?
You go first.
All right.
Oh.
So. Did you read Walking Dead, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember All Out War?
Yes.
That was the story arc that got me to stop reading Walking Dead. It was...
I think I stopped about the same time.
It was like 12 issues long. It was hyped for about 6 months and then took a year to come out because it was 12 issues. And it was... I don't remember like very specific plot points because I pushed it out of my head because it sucked. But it was essentially just like Rick and his team and Negan and his team. They do like a big war for like 12 issues. And at the end of it, like Negan's just captured and he's thrown in a jail cell. And that was it. That was like what all 12 issues led up to. It was like the biggest buildup ever for the least amount of payoff I've ever seen in a comic. And I put that issue down and I was like, I'm not reading this anymore. And at that point, I had read 130 issues or whatever it was at that point. So for me to stop at that point is, I just hate that when it's like the build up and everything, and then it just totally doesn't stick the landing at the end.
And they lose it. Yeah, and they usually lose it in like one issue or even like half the issue.
It's like the last issue always. Like it's going, and then something happens, and then it just ends.
I think that happens to a lot of storylines. I mean, pretty much, I think all of them.
Yeah.
That's how it usually happens.
And that's the reason I don't like
about 90%.
But I'll wait.
About 90%, I feel, are like the last issue. Like, oh, I'm really enjoying this until like the final payout, and the final payout's crap.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if that's because they were rushed or because they, you know, got carried away and didn't know how to tie it up. But
yeah, I don't know.
Go next?
It's. I gotta go next.
I said, who wants to go next?
That means you. That means you go next.
So I'll go next. So, you know, this one took a while. The whole arc sucked. So Superman New Krypton. I'm not sure if you guys read that back in the day. No. So New Krypton, you know, it was a great story, you know, basically behind the sun, you know, New Krypton came out, blah, blah, blah. Mon-El, which was part of the Jor-El's family, he was released from the Phantom Zone and everything was good, you know. And then the next arc after that was called Grounded. And that's when Superman came back to Earth because he was off planet during this whole New Krypton side. He was at Krypton. This new arc started called Grounded. Basically had Superman walk from one side of these states to the other. There was no flying involved. He walked. He walked the entire Forrest Gump road.
What?
He used no powers. There were no enemies in this. There were no bad guys or villains. It was
just like him talking to people?
Talking to people and helping out the locals as he was walking through.
So a Walking Dead episode.
Pretty much.
Just walking and talking.
So I think this went on for like 12, maybe 13 issues of him just walking across the United States and not using his powers. I mean, here we got the
When did this come out?
Oh my God. It was before the New 52.
So was it the 2000s though?
Yeah, in the 2000s. Yeah, it's called Grounded.
2008 was New Krypton.
Issue 701 is when it started.
Oh, interesting.
700. So it was just basically him walking and him just talking to people and helping out the locals on the way without using his powers. There was issue, you know.
So this wasn't
wearing his uniform. What's that?
So this wasn't like an ending. You just hated the whole story.
The whole freaking the whole 12 issues.
Well, I'm sure you expected some sort of payoff, and then there was nothing.
And, you know, the problem when you're reading a story arc like this, and when the first issue sucked, and then you go like, okay, it's gonna get better. You're reading the second one, okay, it's gonna get better. He's gonna do something. Third one, okay, I'm still sticking with this. I'm gonna go with it. You know, issue 15, you're like, oh, this just blew donkey.
Yeah.
You know, it was so bad. and I don't understand why they just have him walk. And
that's funny.
I don't get it.
That's a good pick. I never would have guessed that you would say that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and trust me, I love I love Superman, but with him just walking across the United States, I can really care less about that.
All right. Well, sounds like a good pick.
All right,
so
who's next?
For mine, I know I've mentioned countless times that I've read all of Amazing Spider-Man, and there have been some pretty bad ones. So I was originally going to pick the Clone Saga, but it was kind of like that one where the whole thing was pretty awful. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to pick that one. Instead, I'm going to pick One More Day. Have you read that yet, Matt? The One More Day.
I haven't read anything like 400 up until like 700.
So basically, Aunt May, who
Brand New Day was the reboot, right? Kind of.
Yeah, it was after that.
Okay.
Yeah. Aunt May, who at this point is like 150, they were finally going to.
She was 150 in the first issue.
Dude, I was giving her 80, and now she's about 150. So there was like, all right, finally, like honestly, at this point, Aunt May needs to go. Like, Aunt May serves no purpose in the Spider-Man universe anymore. I just don't understand why she's still alive. But to make the way it ends, to have Aunt May survive, he gives up his marriage to Mary Jane, which to me in the 90s was to Mephisto. Like, Mephisto says, I'll let her live. And like, I don't even know why he's involved. Like, Mephisto randomly gets involved, and he just everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, and it's also everybody forgets he's Spider-Man. So like everyone who knew he was Spider-Man forgets. So nobody knows he's Spider-Man anymore. I think later on they tell you that like Mary Jane whispers something and she says, "I still want to know though." So she's the only one, but everyone else forgets Peter Parker Spider-Man because like after the Civil War, he reveals who he is, and that's why Aunt May got shot. But you know, to let her live and wipe out the fact that everyone knows he's Spider-Man, like they have to like take away the marriage. So it was just so dumb. And like my favorite part of Spider-Man is his other half, which is Mary Jane. So it was one of
some of my favorite Spider-Man books are the Renew Your Vows stuff. So I definitely would not like it.
Oh, it was really good. I liked it until they made her a lot older.
The kid?
Like towards the end of the Renew Your Vows, when they like brought her into like high school, I feel like I liked it a lot.
No, I liked when she was like a 7-year-old, 8-year-old. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I love that dynamic. That's how they should have went in like the actual storyline, but they try to stay away from like the family stuff. I get that.
Yeah.
But that was my pick. One more day.
Nice. All right, so my pick.
All right, so we have 2 more left, right?
Yes, we do. So I'll go 1.
All right. Does everybody else have one?
I do.
I hope so.
Yeah. I was struggling between a few, but I figured out the one that I hated the most out of this. And we had already talked about it because we did a book club on it. Civil War.
Okay. Really?
Amazing series. Loved it until the last issue. This whole big battle in the last issue.
I can see it now.
Yeah, they're doing this, and they're fighting. The Captain America is so still like, you know, sticking to his word and what he thought this whole time. He's not letting in. He's not letting in. The entire story, nothing that anybody says or does gets to him. And all of a sudden, it just clicks. Mid-battle, he looks around. He's like, "Wait, this isn't the right way. They're right. Arrest me." I was like, "What?" That was the most abrupt ending ever. I don't know. Do you guys see that or not?
Yeah, no, I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. That pissed me off.
I wasn't a big fan of that storyline anyway.
You know, I feel like the first time I read it, I liked it a lot more. The second time, I probably liked it a little less. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
All right, Jim. You want to do the last one?
Let me see if I get this right. Okay, so it's another Superman. It was Superman.
I'm gonna go with Aquaman, but he hasn't had any story arcs.
No, he had a really bad one. The one where he turned into a squid. The one where he turned into a squid.
He turned into a squid?
It was the sword of the Atlantean, I think was called. It was really bad. Really, really bad. Awful.
That's fine.
Awful. I don't remember much of it. I remember reading it and I'm like, this was stupid. It wasn't even one of my picks. It was he turned into a squid, so he's basically squid face, and then he dies. And then they kill him. He gets killed. It's a weird storyline. I hated it. No, this was what was the Superman? Goes into the sun, he dies. Lex Luthor takes his powers, then he realizes that, oh my God, Superman, he was doing good, and we should have been doing good in the very first place. I forget the name of it. They did a movie up, Final Front. No, I can't remember.
It's
now.
not New Frontier. It's
not New Frontier. It was
they made a movie.
I can't remember.
Oh, like an animated.
Yeah, there
movie?
was a cartoon.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah, it was an animated. Say again.
Kingdom Come. No,
it wasn't Kingdom Come. Oh, God. I knew I was going to forget this. I was thinking about it last night and this morning, and I was trying to remember it, but what threw me off, I don't remember. Let me back it up. I'll even give you a different one. How about The Killing Joke? How about Killing Joke?
Ooh,
Let's
interesting take. I want to hear this.
Okay. The ending of that book, it still drives me nuts to this day. So it ends up with basically Batman and the Joker. Batman's holding him, and they just start laughing.
And he
they
tells
laugh.
the joke.
They ended it with them both. They what?
Joker was telling the joke, and then they just laughed, and then it ended.
Yeah, and they just laughed. And it's one of those. I understand the ending. I mean, the ending can go both ways. Some say that Batman killed the Joker, but you never actually see it. You don't see the if he that ending really bothered me because it was such a great storyline, and then to end it without any kind of outcome to it.
So are you not into ambiguous endings?
No, I think that book would have been a little bit more powerful if they had some kind of better ending to it. I don't know what it could have been. It could have been, maybe Batman did kill the Joker. Like, show that. Like, let's close this storyline down. Because, you got to figure, Joker did some horrible things in this book. He shot Barbara Gordon. He technically did something else to her. Like, there was...
So let me ask you this.
Pretty graphic thing.
Because the last panel, I remember this, you just see their feet and he's holding him, right? And you see the
right.
feet in the
And then
puddle.
yes, but the last panel, I think the last panel is you just see a road or the street. It was bricks from what I remember, and then just the water because it was raining, and then that's what it kind of ends at.
So if they
there's no laughter. The laughter kind of just dies.
Yeah.
So you could go both ways. You could be maybe he killed him, maybe he didn't. They just laughed, and that's how they ended.
So if they had put something like a little like a what did they do in Spidey 121 when Gwen Stacy died? They just put the word "snap" next to her neck.
Yes, that was when
they didn't though. I think they retconned that.
I'm saying if they did something like that and put like a snap, and you it's implied that like Batman broke his neck or something. Do you feel like you would have liked it better like that? If it's short,
maybe that's me. Maybe some people I would think I could see it both ways. I could see it being okay. Let's keep it a mystery. Let's guess maybe this is what he did.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it was ended. I just with him. Batman's
interesting
persona,
take. Wow.
The laughter thing was weird.
He's not a laughing guy. Batman shouldn't be laughing. Yeah. He should be laughing if he's dead. You know what I mean? It threw me off with that book.
Interesting. I like your picks tonight, Jim. That's good. I didn't expect either of those.
I like that Gordon kind of is the one who's supposed to break in that situation and he doesn't. Like he stays to the law. And I always enjoyed that. It was weird. Like the Batman laughing thing was weird. But I think there's a lot of supposed symbology there. And I think what they're trying to do, or at least the way I interpreted it, was Batman was actually getting the final laugh on him. On the Joker.
I get that, yes.
Yeah. But it was weird. I get what you're saying, yeah.
Alan Moore is very.
Right, that was a good...
I think Alan Moore is a genius, but he's an acquired taste for people. He's not for everybody.
Oh, he's out there. But listen, I like that story. I think it was a good story. But
have you guys read Saga of the Swamp Thing?
Some of it.
You should. It's really good.
I was reading it when I had DC Universe, and then I stopped paying for it because that app was crap.
Yeah.
All right, but this is good. Top 5. Excellent. Nice. Top 5 most disappointing story.
Nice.
It's going to drive me nuts about the Superman. I do apologize to people. Maybe we'll do another episode where I'll get my facts on that.
Make a post about it later. I want to know which one it is and what the hell happened.
I will.
Definitely make a post about it later.
Sure.
All right, good guys.
On DFTG.
Yes.
All right, cool.
All right, we good for this episode then?
Let's kill it.
Yeah, make sure people are following us wherever we're followed. Don't feed the geeks at LI Comic Guys. Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. Hit us up, listen, share, subscribe, comment.
And we're gonna have more stuff on YouTube hopefully soon.
Yes.
Working on it.
Yeah, maybe, probably,
maybe, hopefully.
JJ says this weekend, so maybe in a couple months.
Jerk.
All right, guys. Well, remember, until next time.
Don't feed the geeks!